Hello, hope you're all doing well. This week I've got a pen review for you. This is the Inkursive Manga Pen. And I bought this just after Christmas because I was interested in the flexible nib. It's got a flexible nib and it's a fountain pen, so that's quite an unusual combination. And having a flexible nib means that you can vary the pressure and get a wide range of different marks from the same nib, which adds a lot of expression to your marks. So talking about the thicknesses you can get, at a light pressure you get these kinds of marks, slightly sort of medium pressure you get these, and at a firm pressure you'll get something like this. And if I compare that to these fine liners, this is a 0.1, so that's close to the thinnest marks I think, and this is a 0.8. and that's close, I think, to the thickest marks. So from 0.1 to 0.8, which is all very, very much on the thin side. But yeah, so it's probably better suited to smaller drawings or very fine hatching, that kind of thing, cross-hatching if you do that kind of thing, inking in, maybe some calligraphy if you can do that. I can't, but, especially not after a coffee or two. There we go. So sort of handwriting sized calligraphy is kind of good for that. But generally I'm going to be using this for sketching just because I find these sorts of marks more interesting than these that are perfect even thicknesses all the time. I'll talk a bit more about the nib because the nib is unusual in that it's very tiny. Here's a typical dip pen nib next to it. Tom at Inkursive very nicely spotted that I'd ordered the nibs but didn't have a pen that would fit them. So he sent me a pen as well, which was very kind of him. So typically dip pen nibs are around this sort of size. But what you can see is that this is very shiny, and I think that's going to protect it from rusting. Whether it's plated or stainless, I don't know. But you see on this nib, where the ink has been in contact with it, it started to oxidize. And when that happens in the nib itself, at the drawing end, it can stop the ink flowing and then you have to throw it away. So that doesn't seem to happen with these tiny nibs. And this has been in there since just after Christmas, with ink on it all the time. So you'd expect it to be rusting if it would. And it's been working fine ever since. I just filled it up with some of this platinum carbon ink, which is permanent. You just dip the end of the pen in, screw the end, and it sucks the ink up into here. Lots of ink, actually. And yeah, even when I haven't used it for a few days and then picked it up again, it seems perfectly happy. And it doesn't seem to leak too much either. There is a drop of ink in the cap there, but I'd feel comfortable taking this out in my bag for some sketching trips. Some of the other dip pen fountain nibs I've got, fountain pens I've got, are very leaky, and I'd feel a little bit anxious about those in my bag or my pocket. Whereas this one I think will be pretty safe, probably because the nib's so tiny. There's not that much ink working its way down there. Finally, I should say that the cost, I haven't got the exact price, but it was very cheap. The 10 nibs were cheap, and the pen isn't much either. It's the same pen basically, so you're getting the standard nibbed one I've got and the Fude nib. Of course, except the end is different for holding this nib. But yeah, none of them are a big outlay in cost. So if you want to experiment a little bit with a pen that will give you a bit of a wider range of mark making than a fine liner, then give it a go and see what you think. I'll do a little drawing now just to see what I can do with it. Find a piece of paper. You might find that occasionally the nib digs into the paper a little bit, just because These dip pen nibs generally aren't as polished or smooth, or they don't have the little bobble at the end that you typically get on a writing pen. It's usually just when you're forcing the pen to go against the grain or something, but it doesn't happen too often. But having a pen that can make a wide range of different marks is really useful. It's like having several pens in your hand at the same time, and you can then switch lines without having to switch pens each time. I haven't actually made a plan of what I'm drawing here, it's just making it up as I go along. That's nearly done, whatever it is. Some kind of vintage space speeder. Right, hope you're having a great weekend. Like and subscribe and all that sort of thing, and I'll see you for another film soon.